In this demo, we're going to create a simple extension method that we can use in a link pipeline. And so to show you how we can make an extension method, perhaps the best way to begin would be to return to one of the link challenges from earlier on in this course, where we were adding together a sequence of time spans to calculate the total duration of an album of music. And you can see the solution we came up with here. Now, you may remember that although we wanted the last stage in our pipeline to be a call to sum, we couldn't use that because link's sum method doesn't work on time spans. And so we had to use aggregate instead. Now, this is about as simple a lambda expression as you'll ever need to pass into aggregate, so it's not exactly complicated code. But if we find that we're often wanting to sum together sequences of time spans in our application, then maybe we'd want to create a proper extension method to do this. So let's see how we can create our own extension method to add together a sequence of time spans. And so I'll switch LinkPad into C# program mode, which allows me to declare a class that we can hold our extension method in. Now, extension methods need to be declared in a static class, and so we'll create a class called myLinkExtensions, and inside create a static method that returns a time span, and we'll call it sum. And it takes an IEnumerable sequence of time spans. And now all we need to do to turn this from a plain old static method into an extension method is to add the this keyword at the start of the first parameter declaration. And this means that our sum method will be available as an extension method on any instance of an IEnumerable of time spans. The actual implementation is very simple. We start with a total time span of 0 and iterate through the enumerable sequence of time spans, adding each one to the total. And then at the end we just return the total. And by the way, in this course, although we've been talking a lot about avoiding for each loops and imperative code, of course inside the extension methods that we create, that's where these for each loops belong. What we're doing is we're putting the implementation details into our extension methods so that our pipelines can be declarative and just express our intent. So now we have our extension method, we can remove the call to aggregate from our original pipeline and replace it with a call to our new sum extension method. And as usual, we'll be using LinkPad's dump method to show the output. And as you can see, when we run, we get the same total duration as before. Now, there's just two things I'll quickly point out before we move on. First, our extension method, although it's called sum, doesn't clash with any of the existing sum extension methods because none of them can operate on an IEnumerable of time spans. And second, when you create your own extension methods, you'll need to decide which namespace you're going to put them in. Normally, you put your own code into your own custom namespace, maybe something like mycompany.myproduct.utils or something. But that does mean that everyone who wants to use your extension method must remember to import that namespace with a using statement. And so a trick some developers use is to put their extension methods into a namespace that you're already using, like system.link. Then it will just automatically become available in any C# file where someone's already using link. Now, while this is convenient, I personally prefer to use my own namespace. It just makes it a bit more obvious where the extension methods are coming from. Let's move on now and we'll create another extension method that will be useful in loads of applications.